First of all, I'm thankful for the award, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I think that now we realize more than in the past how important it is to hear the Jewish voice, the Jewish journal, the Jewish people involved in everything, in our life, in political life, in society life. And you represent it with your moment. So this is a moment of importance in moment. I think so.
I know from talking to Justice Ginsburg that she was very concerned about the Israeli Supreme Court. And I know that that's not front and center right now, but I would love for you to explain to us why the court is so important in Israel, which, as you've mentioned, does not have a constitution.
That's the first reason. I mean, very important the issue in Israel. She was very much concerned about it, really. She knew our judgments, she knew and she liked it, and she appreciated what we do. But the role of the Supreme Court in Israel is important more than in any other democratic country. I don't know how much you followed what happened here in the last year about the independence of the court, but this became an issue, a very important issue. We have actually, not only not a written constitution, the power of the executive here is very strong. And the system of government is so that through a coalition, the regime is in the hands of the executive, who need a majority in our Knesset, in our parliament, so they can control legislation, they can control whatever the executive does. No judicial review, no other review, no constitutional limits. So the court represents really the limits of power, the power to review what a government does. I think this is so important, and one of the really most difficult year that Israel had before the war was the fight to keep the status and the supremacy of the Supreme Court and its power, because it's the only guarantee that we have for human rights, actually. Every legislation could be changed by the Knesset. With no review, they can do everything. Politicians, the rule of the majority, without anything to protect minorities, is a serious threat to the society, to a democratic society. And this was the issue in the last year that we fought so much to achieve. And while this happened now, no one knows what will be our future. I believe that we will overcome it with success. I believe so.
What's it like in Israel for everyone right now after the October 7th attack and during this war?
October 7th, our world changed completely. For us, this is something that we don't even understand how terrible, what a catastrophe it was. Catastrophe that happened by surprise, that changed everything. We're in the midst of a very, very difficult war. This was such a cruel attack, such a terrible attack. I have no words to describe it, and no one can describe what happened in Israel on the Saturday, the 7th of October. It's not the same thing. And now people are really, the atrocities are terrible. Families killed, so many victims. I'm not, of course, kidnapping of civilians, children, women, elderly people. It's something that we cannot even grasp and understand. How could it be? And this is a situation we didn't believe that we'll be in. So many wounded, so many victims, so many people hurt, and it's not over yet. It's not over. The war is going on in Gaza. We don't know how it will go.
You've been a champion of democracy, of Israel's democracy. And do you see or foresee that this war, the attack, the war, will strengthen Israel's democracy after the war or during the war?
I believe so. I think that most of the people, realize now the price that we paid for not protecting the rule of democracy, our democracy, taking more too much emphasis on issues that are not that important on expense of keeping our democracy. I think people realize it now. We paid a lot for that. I believe it will get up with a new situation where we understand the real importance of a democracy with a liberal society and with an independent court. I really think that this is one of the most important things after we achieve, of course, peace and really find solutions for the practical things that we have now to find, our economy, the situation of people, to build a country from the beginning in certain areas, which is really unbelievable, but this is what we have to do. And a better society then. This is my hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. Even by Zoom, we're so grateful and we're so delighted to give you this award.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nadine. And all the best. And I hope you succeed in what you're doing now. And the gala will be a nice one and a good one. And remember us here in Israel. We are with you. You are with us.